What's up, guys?
My bad.
No, you're good. We're live, Jules. We're live.
Alrighty.
All
Hi
right.
guys.
What's up, everybody?
How is
Um,
everybody? Let me read the comments here.
yeah.
I'll be lurking for a bit. Hey Terrence. Hey Damon. Becky.
Becky, Terrence, Damon, Nat. Uh,
Hey
what's up,
Nat.
everybody?
Um, I
I
have
was
to.
running late myself, so sorry, guys. We're a little bit disoriented right now.
I know. I was gonna say we're a little discombobulated this morning
Yeah,
or
we
this
were both
afternoon.
doing stuff. Yep, but it's all right. It's all
Yep.
right. Ah,
Yeah. I just had a phone call or whatever, and just trying to help out a new catcher. So, how are you doing, Nat? Let's see.
yeah, what's up, Nat?
It still
Glad you
says we got
were
one more out back, so let me see. Oh, okay, it's just us.
uh, glad you were able to catch a stream, Nat. Good to see you here.
I know. Oh, I need
Yeah,
my Sprite too. Thought I was gonna sit here and start a stream without a Sprite, like, der.
can't do that. Mm-mm.
No, sure
Mm-mm.
can't. I'm
I,
like, it's kind of funny. That's literally like my vice these days is my
I was
Sprite.
pissed. I didn't go to the store yesterday to grab my vapes and stuff, and my one vape ran out last night, and I knew it was going to happen.
Oh shit,
Yeah. So, I mean, I
that's
smoke
like the worst.
cigarettes, but I
Right.
smoke those during the day and basically use the vapes for the nighttime. So, you know.
Ain't noble sadist.
Yeah. What's up, Bill?
Noble, noble, huh?
Uh-huh. We're all
Um,
noble.
Yeah, I said the same thing too. I didn't grab a vape the other day. My dad was gonna come down. He's like, "Oh, I would have brought you one." He's like, "If I would have known that you were almost out." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not, but I will be during the week because you
Exactly.
can't buy them in Mass. You have to like literally go to New Hampshire, which it's not really that far, but I don't have a car, so it is,
Yeah.
you know. But it's not too bad. At least, I can have him come because he comes every Sunday. So
Yeah.
when I'm doing the visit with my son's father, because he has to do supervised visits with them, my dad comes
Uh-huh.
down to sit, so I'm not with him alone.
Yeah.
Damien, oh Damon, just curious. I spoke with you last week. Yes, absolutely. That's what we were saying. Is you're more than welcome to come on. We would love it. Damon, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
Or you can write the story out on an IG post.
yeah,
Oh
like you can
shit.
write it on paper or send it to us like in a private chat on
Hmm.
Instagram, and we can screenshot it and read it that way. I just told
Yeah.
two other people the same thing because they wanted to tell their story,
Yeah.
but didn't want to be on camera or on audio, which I can understand. It's a little nerve
Yeah.
wracking, but it's a little easier with time.
Yeah. That's what the stream's gonna feed off of eventually is everybody, sharing a little bit of their self. Because Jules and I can only say so much.
Right.
We just, make the live and we want other people to join in, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you to PNN for sharing the stream on Discord. Thank you to Cup and Emily.
Oh, yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Say, say this being the operative word. You're hilarious, Bill. Let's
Mm.
see.
Hey, Hills.
Oh, that was nice of PNN. I just got the notification. I was like, I guess I'm a little late with getting my notifications lately.
Yeah.
Um, I put it up on, hey, Hills. I put it up on the PP Mass Discord too. I had every intentions on like sharing it quite a few places, and then I literally got caught up. No, you can, Damon, you can do it on live. It could be done any way you're comfortable with. So if you don't want to come on live on the panel and tell your story, you absolutely don't have to. But if you do, you could either do it with no camera and just your audio. Or you could, if you don't want to be on live at all, you can write it in a private IG message to me or Variety, and we could just read it, so whatever is easiest or most comfortable for you, we just want to make it, a lot easier for you guys, because it can be nerve-wracking. But absolutely, if you're willing to come on the panel, and tell your story, that would be awesome.
I'm gonna drop the link in the chat.
Mhm.
Let me grab the link.
I know, I was gonna say I didn't even click the copy button, but I forgot you can click on to invite guests or whatever on the more button.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and we're on a different StreamYard
Gotcha.
today. So if Jeff is back this week also, haven't seen him yet, but if he tries to come up on this one and there's a problem, we know it's definitely on his end, but we would definitely like to hear his story as well.
Right.
Let me get rid of that.
Yes, Damon, we can do it today, honey. Absolutely. That's what we're saying. If you're okay with being on live, then by all means, please come on. You could just click the StreamYard link that we just posted in the chat. Yep. I have no idea, Dragonfly. I didn't even notice that because my screen protector is broken. But I don't know. There's like, Sean, what is Dragonfly was pointing it out? Oh, let me see if I can point the right way. Can you see?
That's what I'm that's what I'm trying to get rid of. That was I don't even want to say their name, who was using my StreamYard that put it up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm trying to remove it.
Thanks, Dragonfly. I would have never noticed. Like I said, my screen protector is tearing, and I had no idea. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep.
Hi, Jeff.
They switched everything. Let me do it on my laptop. But that's what I was trying to get rid of. Thank you, Dragonfly, for telling us.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, JJ Rod.
Let me go over here.
To take down the pedos when the DA. Yeah, right. That is so true, Butterfly. How are you doing, Jess? My Jessie. Oh yeah, Hills. I kept telling Jay how lucky he was having that coat you got him, because it's been pretty damn cold here. I mean, it's starting to, oh, hey, kitty. It's been starting to warm up a little bit, but at least now he knows he's got that too, even if, the nights he goes out and does catches late, because it's been getting to like 8 degrees or whatever. It was 1 degree one morning.
That's me. Don't let me up. That's me. Yeah.
Got it.
Banners.
Yeah, they are awesome. I was saying the same thing. I'm like, I have no idea that they even made coats like that, but I'm like, I might need one when I take these boys outside. It's so cold and it is so painful on my back, and I need one of those for like my knee, or stick a bunch of those hot hands in my knee brace.
That's funny, right? Yeah. I used to do that too, Yeah. All right, let's see what we got.
Terrence.
I thought I deleted all these stupid things. I gave somebody my StreamYard, no name mentioned, to use, and they put up like 50 different overlays, like it was their own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we decided to use Variety's StreamYards because obviously whatever the situation was with mine last week, and poor Jeff kept trying to get on, and for whatever reason, it wasn't letting them on. But I mean, even when Terrence wasn't on, it let him in. I mean, it
Yeah.
wouldn't let him in. Is that you again?
No,
Oh,
that's
nope,
Damon.
it's
Yeah.
Damon. Okay. Add to stream. I mean, it wouldn't let him in. Woo.
What's going on, Damon?
How
Hey,
you doing?
Damon.
How you doing?
How are you?
Not too bad.
That's good.
Good. Thanks for coming up.
Well, no,
Absolutely.
really, the thanks should be to you guys. I've been going through,
Thanks for coming up.
this all kind of. Do you guys hear that delay?
I was gonna say I do hear the feedback.
That's from my laptop. It'll be gone in a second when I shut it
Oh,
down. My
yep.
bad.
You're fine.
Is it gone? There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like it.
Okay, I apologize.
You're fine.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I had an experience when I was younger.
Mhm.
It is what it is. It's very difficult to talk about,
Mhm.
but it is what it is. It happened, and I spent pretty much the rest of my life dealing with it. Unfortunately, I dealt with it in a very poor way through drug addiction. Really, really, really risky sexual behavior.
Mhm.
Doing a lot of things that I really shouldn't have been doing at an age I shouldn't have been doing it at.
Yep.
I mean, the first time I smoked weed, I was sick. I was in sixth grade.
Right.
That's not good for your brain, man. It's not
No.
good for your brain. And, the first time I tried to commit suicide, I was in sixth grade. Like,
Yep.
back in those days, not to age myself here, but back back in those days, it was one of those things where you would think, somebody would be like, "Wow, sixth grade and the kid's trying to kill himself," and
Right.
what's going on?
Yeah, somebody would have taken notice or
Yeah,
something.
you would think the school, I was bullied mercilessly.
Yep.
Like it was awful.
Yep.
I was a different kid. I didn't know what was going on,
Right.
and so for many, many years until I would say, I struggled with some other things, ADHD, dyslexia. So school was very hard for me.
Right.
And, even my adult life, I still struggle
Mhm.
tremendously with
Yep.
ADHD. However, I was very lucky. I met a wonderful woman, and I have a beautiful son, and my life has turned around,
Right.
quite a bit. But there isn't a day that goes by that I don't have pain in my heart,
Yeah.
and I'm still that 12-year-old boy.
Yes. Yep.
And I'll always be that 12-year-old boy. And it destroys your soul in a way that I don't think much else does.
Yeah.
But you can get it back. And that's what I've just discovered is you could get your soul back. It doesn't actually leave you. It's always been there. You know, it's one of those things where you just have to take control.
Yep.
And I haven't had control since I was 12. And I didn't know that I could take control. I didn't
Right.
know. I didn't know. And no amount of people telling me that I could would help.
Yep.
Okay. I went years, I couldn't even look in the mirror. I could
Right.
not. I hated myself. I
Yeah.
hated myself. I didn't know any different. there was no different. There was no hope whatsoever. And I tried taking my life again when I was in my 20s. And, that second time taught me a lesson in the sense that if you really wanted to do it, you would.
Right.
You would succeed. I didn't really want to do it. It was a cry. It was a cry for help.
I was just gonna say it was a temporary relief, for yourself,
And
emotionally.
yeah, and so all that said, now I do apologize. I tend to be a little long-winded, so if you want me to shut up, just say so.
You're fine, Wayne.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
So bear in mind everything that I told you. It wasn't until I was about 38. No. Let me see. Yeah. It was around that time, 38.
Mhm.
I've had a really hard time, and I've always chalked it up to ADHD and being really unpopular and
Right.
not liking myself and always saying, oh, that's what, I've always had, and the drug addiction and the,
Mhm.
sexual misbehavior, that kind of stuff, I just thought that's the way I was.
Yep.
And I've been in therapy since I was like 7.
Right.
And I've switched therapists so many times. And, I've had maybe 2 or 3 that really, help me help myself, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're not magic.
Right.
And
Pay
so
for it.
when I was about 38, 40, I had a therapist, and that therapist, when he first started talking to me, he asked me what happened. And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "What happened?" Because I struggle with a lot of hyper focus and I guess some people would say paranoia.
Mhm.
I was very I don't trust anybody. I don't
Right.
and that's something I struggle with today.
Yeah.
I love people, but I don't trust them.
Right.
I don't give an inch. I don't give an inch, man. As long as I'm control, like if I got my car, then I'm good. If I can,
Right.
I never go anywhere where I can't leave, like under my own power. And
Yep.
I'm just a weird person that way. Like,
Yep.
and
That's not weird.
it's funny, like, like he asked me what happened, and I was going through, my childhood and everything. And he said to me that he thinks that I suffer from PTSD.
Mhm.
And I was like, what are you talking about? I have ADHD. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And he's like, no, man, something happened to you.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And I just didn't get it. And then he asked me if I'd ever been abused.
Mhm.
And I always knew in the back of my mind that I had been, but I always told myself it was just a dream.
Mhm.
It wasn't real. It wasn't real. It didn't really happen. It was just a dream. And you have to understand, and this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand, and it makes me very upset. And it's one of the major reasons why I came on today.
Mhm.
Is I think there is a huge population of men who have gone through similar situations that I have. And they were, they were just young, and your body reacts. You don't know what the hell is going on.
Right.
It just happens. And nothing that ever happened to me was forced.
Right.
There was no force.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I was 12.
Yeah.
And I was confused. And that shit carried on. And I ended up doing a lot of stupid shit at a young age. And it was never forced. But I shouldn't have been doing it. And every son of a bitch who took advantage of that needs to burn. I'm sorry. I have a lot of anger towards that.
Yeah. You're fine. You should.
Excuse me.
Rightfully so.
And so I just wanted to, it kills me, when I hear people making jokes about, oh, you got lucky when you were a kid. No, there's no luck involved.
No.
That wasn't good. That wasn't good. I wasn't ready, and
you were still taken advantage of. It's still wrong.
Yeah, right. And I didn't know any better. And because of that, it prepped me for a lifestyle that was not conducive to a successful life.
Yep.
And God saved me. I'm 47 years old, and I'm just waking up.
Yeah.
And I don't want that for other people.
Right.
I'm glad I woke up. I'm glad I'm trying to turn this shit around. But like, I haven't had a drink in 4 or 5 years.
Wow, good for you.
And I smoke weed every day, but
I think we all do.
I
think we all need it.
Most do, yeah.
Unfortunately, I got 3 dispensaries around my house, so I don't get out the door without making a stop. But I think that's a lot less detrimental than alcohol. But I want men to know. I want men to know that what happened to them, it's not okay. It's not okay. And I think there are a lot of men out there who do a lot of stupid shit, and it's just because some adult didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it was a selfish fucking thing to do. Right. I was, the one thing I forgot to mention was I was a very early bloomer. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was like the tallest kid in my class. I started shaving in 6th grade.
Right.
Like I was an early bloomer, so I didn't fit in like everybody else. And
right.
It's hard when you think girls are pretty and nobody else does.
Yeah.
And so it just set me up. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a choice in it. Like it wasn't, how would you not turn to drugs? How would you not try to kill yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How would you not hate yourself and refuse to look in the mirror? I mean, it just, I apologize. I'm kind of stumbling.
You don't need to apologize. Like I said, when I told my story the first time, ask JDQ, because I did it on his channel, I skipped so many chunks. Some of it I had buried and didn't fully remember how the entire story went. But it's like, you're never going to tell your story the first time from beginning to end and in its entirety. It's just, you know what I mean?
So, you know, I'm not sure how, much I want to get into,
Mm.
The actual, nuts and bolts of the situation.
Right.
But I mean, it was, I can, I can, I can say it was a family member,
Hmm.
and it's somebody that I love very much, and I have a great relationship with, and it's just unspoken. It always has been.
Right. Just like the
And
quiet elephant in the room.
and I, you know, it's a very difficult situation because part of me wants to, be mad and
Mm.
hate, but then there's a part of me that this is somebody who's, let's be honest, terminally ill with cancer,
Right.
and somebody that I've known a long time. And is it the question is confrontation in this regard worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it to blow up a family, well, over something that was, you know, air quotes.
I mean,
Uh,
I think realistically, the question is like, is it going to help you? If it's going to
no,
help you, then it wouldn't matter, you know?
I,
But
I don't see what good would come of it. And this is around the time when, so, like after that happened, it didn't happen for very long,
yeah.
but it turned a light on in me. And, I ended up, again, not to date myself, but the internet was invented.
Hmm. Yep.
And, here I was, the perfect age.
Yep.
And, you know, there was no, there was no internet security then.
Mm-mm.
Huh. And so I got into a lot of really, really, really dangerous situations willingly.
Hmm.
And, people would always say, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I like to drive. I'm big into cars, and I used to drive with absolute reckless abandon. I've never been afraid to die. I
Yeah.
have my personality is so unbelievably self-destructive. I cannot believe that I'm 47 years old. God likes me
Hmm.
because I should not be here.
You
I
have a
should
purpose.
I should not be here. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And I've had friends OD and die, friends go to jail, people who I always had this little voice in my head that said it's time to go,
Yep.
time to leave. Bad shit's about to happen. And I would leave and I would escape it. But man, I'd be right back the next day.
Right.
And it was because I didn't give a shit. I
Right.
really didn't.
Yep.
And my son was born, not to skip ahead, but my son was born and it changed me. I'm a totally different person now. Total is when I think back to my life before my son was born, it's like a movie I watched.
Right.
It's not me.
Right. Like an
It,
outer body experience. You're
yeah,
watching it
and I,
play out from
right.
over here. Yeah.
And I laugh about it because it doesn't even seem like
Hmm.
real.
Yep.
But a couple years ago, I discovered predator poachers online. You guys have done more for me than pretty much anybody else.
Mhm.
Um, watching you confront these people, you have no idea. I mean, maybe you do,
Mhm.
but
I
it
do.
it 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 has been so healing for me.
Hmm.
It has kept me from doing some really stupid shit
Yep.
and blowing up a family that really, like, why?
Right.
I
Yep.
mean, at the end of the day, the person involved, I'm not going to be here that long.
Right.
So, what am I doing? You
Yeah.
know, really, at the end of the day, that's not going to solve anything.
Mhm.
And then I found you guys, and I said, "Oh shit,
Mhm.
these guys are really doing something."
Yep.
And you know, I've been sitting on the sidelines watching you guys, and you know, I have to admit, you know, I'm a bit of an extrovert,
Yep.
lead singer in a band, that kind of thing. Like,
Yep.
I'm not afraid to talk. I'm not afraid to be on camera.
Good.
I mean, it is what it is. I
Yep.
mean, if people have a problem, come talk to me.
Right.
Life is too short. I don't give a shit.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's just you know, I found you guys and I was like, wow, man, these people really, they're onto something, you know. I don't know if it affects other people the way it does me, but boy, it sure does. It sure does.
Yep.
And you know, recently I've been kind of really I'm sorry, I'm shaking my camera here.
You're okay.
Um Recently I've been doing a lot of soul searching and I've been feeling, you know, pretty bold, pretty aggressive, and pretty, you know, I'm done with being who I was. I'm
Right.
done. I'm done with that. I feel pretty good about myself. I have a good reason to,
Good.
you know. I'm raising a beautiful boy,
Yeah.
you know. I'm trying, you know, with all of my heart to be a good husband.
Yep.
You know, I've been just had my 15th wedding anniversary.
Holy crap. Good God. Congratulations. That's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you know, it's a weird thing, you know, to
Yeah.
have that, you know, people, I tell people I've been married 15 years and they're like, "Oh my God," you know, like almost like you're not supposed to do that. You
It's like
know?
weird these days, like my
Yeah.
grandparents were
And
together for
Yeah.
like, 53 years before my nana passed. And I'm like, how the hell did y'all maintain?
right,
Like,
right.
It's
Like
true. Yep.
my parents got divorced when I was 7 years old.
yeah.
My dad took off. And you know, I'm not gonna make it out like I didn't know my dad. I did. You
Hmm.
know, I still had my dad still had visitation. I still
Yep.
saw my father on a fairly regular basis, but
Yeah.
it's not the same. It's
No.
divorce is probably, in my opinion, one of the major reasons we're having the problems we are today.
Yep.
Is
I would
because
agree.
kids need their dads.
Yep.
Kids need
Because a
their
lot of times they are looking for the other adult figure in
right.
their life and they look for attention. They seek that same type of adult online, which
Right.
in turn allows them to, be open enough for the grooming and,
Right.
you
And
know.
you know, the thing, you know, really what got me going on this and made me decide that I really wanted to at least reach out to you guys and do whatever I can um, to help. If that's what I'm doing right now, then thank you for giving me the opportunity, because
Oh, absolutely.
it's really important to me, and I hope to God that there's somebody who hears my words and maybe something rings true to them. And, you know, just because you just just because you got off doesn't mean that it was okay.
Absolutely.
It's, when you're young, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Right.
And I, for years, I mean, we're talking years, I was doing shit I didn't even want to do.
Yep.
And I just, well, whatever, I'm fucking crazy, whatever,
Yep.
and man, like the amount of damage that does to your, like, people don't realize, and I think they do with women, but and please don't take this the wrong way. I'm in no way trying to discount anything that happens to women.
No, we just talked about this last week, so you're good.
But I struggle tremendously. And, guys don't give a shit, or at
Yeah.
least it doesn't seem like they do.
It's like it's almost like there's a stigma or something behind it. Guys don't speak up because they feel as though, they're supposed to be, not speak up or not be sensitive, or it doesn't happen to guys. It does way more often than people will admit, I
Way
just talked to 2 guys in the past week that said it happened to them, and they just wanted to talk to someone and just have been scared to speak up. That
right.
there's probably 3 people on this planet who know their story,
Right.
and it's sad that there is that thought behind that.
Well, you guys are number 4 and 5 for me.
Yeah. And that, I mean, it's common, which is, to me, it's pretty shitty. I think guys should be able to be open just as much as females,
Right.
which is half why I was so grateful when Variety agreed to do it, because he's been through some similar stuff, and I feel like it opens the door and gives other men the chance to say, it is okay, and I
Right.
can talk about it, and it does happen to guys.
Well, the thing that I struggled with severely was, because my dad took off, I didn't really I grew up with my mother and my sister,
Yep.
and I didn't have a whole lot of male influence growing up. Now, that served me very well later in life because I had a good understanding of women, and I all my friends were girls growing up.
Mhm.
I could not be around boys. To this day, I don't have any male friends.
Right.
Like not real friends. Like
Right.
obviously I'm friends with the guys in my band,
Right.
but it's not like I
Someone you
ever.
trust wholeheartedly.
Well, I don't hang out with them. I see them at rehearsal and I see them at gigs.
Right.
It sucks that I'm that way, but
Yep.
that's the way I am.
Yep.
And I've always lived a very kind of, I stand off. I'm not, you get me on stage, give me a microphone. That's a whole different story.
That's awesome, though.
But I just, I think there's a lot of, like, especially with the advent of the internet, like as a young man, it's part of nature. We get super, super horny, and
Mhm.
it's just part of nature. That's how humans procreate for millions of years. You get the
Yep.
young ones, and chemically you just go crazy.
Right.
And so, with that being said, with the internet, you have a lot of older people that, especially men, who will confuse a young kid and be like, "That's cool, man. We can just get together and jerk off." And you're like,
Yep.
really? And you're so curious. You don't like, dude, it's not okay. It's not
Right.
okay. I don't care what anybody says. There's people out there like, oh, like it's a great way to bring people out of the closet. Fuck you.
Right.
It is not.
That's not the case. No.
It is not. I don't care what you say. I have a lot of gay people in my family. Okay.
Yep.
And that's bullshit. That's
Yep.
still abuse. Just because a little
Absolutely.
boy may be gay, you can't, don't speed that process up.
Right.
Don't do that.
No.
You know, like he'll know, but not at 12,
Right.
10, not at 8. Christ, not even at, now that I'm a grown ass man, not even at 16. I think back when I was 16, I didn't know what
Right.
the hell I was or
Yep.
who I was. I don't know, man. Like it just, I just want people to take, male abuse more seriously, or have,
Agreed.
and I feel like you guys do,
Yep.
because I mean, granted, it says something that most of the catches that I will see are men trying to meet young boys.
Right.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It's because they can get away with it.
Yep.
Because the little boy won't say shit. And where a girl, they don't say shit either usually. But
Right.
it's just, I don't know.
We're more in tune with our emotions. It's a little bit easier for a female to speak, I feel like, is what it comes down to. Is
Do
a
you
female is more
feel that
open.
way? Do you feel
I
that way?
do. I feel like, and especially now talking to the few guys that I have spoke to about their situations, it comes down to they being afraid or ashamed to speak up, as if it's not supposed to happen to them, or they're not supposed to talk about it. They're supposed to be tougher than that, or just deal with it. And a female is more emotional. We're more in tune with ourselves, so we speak with, whether it's a girlfriend or someone else, just to be able to talk. Most of us, we don't press charges, we don't go through with the whole process, but in general, speaking to someone and getting it out there, I think that
Right.
is a huge piece, is
Right.
feeling like men think they are supposed to be tougher, or it's not the case. Like,
Right.
we are all vulnerable.
And
um
I just want to reiterate,
mhm.
in no way, shape, or form am I trying to bring any sort of misogyny or
Oh,
sexism in.
no. Yep.
I'm speaking my experience.
Right.
Okay. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. I'm just speaking my experience, and I feel strongly that there are a lot of men out there that don't say shit.
Right.
And they need to. They need to. Don't waste your fucking life like I did.
Yeah.
I love my life. I love my son. Okay? It took almost 50 years for me to get a reason to live.
Right.
Don't go down my road. Okay? I love my life now, but it's taken fucking 30 some odd years.
Right.
40 years, for crying out loud. And
Yep.
I'm mad as hell about it. I'm mad as hell about it.
You should
And
be. Yeah.
and all this time, I was blaming other things and beating myself up and not being real, not being honest as
Yep.
to why the fuck I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. Why I think everybody hates me. Why I hate myself. Why I can't take care of myself. Why I can't do that. It's very, very, very difficult.
Yep.
And so I just want, whoever's out there, take some time, man. Look in the mirror.
Mm.
Take some time, There's it's one of those things, like, you think about how you would like to treat other people. How do you want to treat them? You want to treat them with kindness. So why the hell are you so cruel to yourself? Right?
Right. Yep.
You should treat yourself how you would treat other people.
Yep.
Period. And we don't do that. Most people do not do that. They treat themselves terribly. And I think that we would all benefit. And like one of the things that brought me to you guys was I see that you're doing something, that you're trying to put good into the world. And one of the things that Jason said that really kind of tipped me over the scale and said, all right, I need to get in touch with these guys, is Jason said in one of his live streams or during one of his catches, I can't remember exactly what he said, when he said it, but he said that public humiliation
Mm. Yep.
is more effective than going to jail. And
Absolutely.
I could not agree more.
Yep.
The fact that we're destroying these guys and
Yep.
making them suffer before they go to jail, making them public spectacles.
Yep.
That is what's going to change this. Okay?
Absolutely.
It's not, you can't throw them all in jail. Christ,
Right.
look at how many. Look at how many. It doesn't stop.
No.
They're all there. There will be more. You can't
Right.
catch them all.
Right.
The only thing you can do is make them so scared that they can't do it.
Absolutely.
Make them, Jesus Christ, I don't want that, so that's when it clicked for me. And I was like, these people, obviously all within the law. And what I like about you guys is even though these people are so evil and so terrible, you still show respect.
Mm-hmm.
You still show a modicum of care.
Right.
And you're within the law. And that is of paramount importance to me. Right. And I think that what you guys do is, it has helped me. I would hope that it's helping other people. And this is my first step to joining you in that fight.
Yep.
I'm done with denial. I'm
Right.
done with denial. And some people face things differently.
Absolutely.
Me, I face my fears head on.
Yep.
That's why I sing in a band, because I was a terrified person and totally antisocial. And I love music and I'm a musician. And I said, you know what? I want to be up on stage. And I fell in love and I will never stop doing it until the day I die. And so, again, I'm long-winded. I do apologize. But, I just really hope that, just trying to convey my experience is at least helpful to somebody. I know it's helpful to me because
Absolutely.
I know that every time I speak these words out loud, I feel a little bit better.
Yep.
I've noticed that. The more you say it out loud, even to yourself.
Right.
Because I was so silent. I lied to myself for years. And I blame myself. And everybody else blamed me too. Why wouldn't they? He's a piece of shit, man. He's a fucking criminal. Why, the fucking guy's bound for jail.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I?
Right.
And
I've heard it myself too, I think. I heard that's the same stuff myself too, and unfortunately, like, it's weird, but the day I got arrested, before I actually went to the women's prison, the cop that put me in the car, said to me flat out, like, you know how long we've been looking for you? Like, and he put me in the car and said, get in the car, you fucking junkie. You wasted a lot of man hours. They'd followed us for months. But so for him to say, you know, things about being wasting their time and you know, me being a waste of space because I was a junk box, you know, like it was, I mean, I hated police at the time. I genuinely, you know, but it hit me in a weird way. It was like, I mean, am I really a waste of space? You know, like I wanted to do more for myself and more for my girls. I only had my girls at the time before I got locked up. And, you know, even getting their letter, they wrote me one letter while I was locked up, and they didn't even write Dear Mom. They wrote Dear Julie because they were so angry with me, you know. So it
I'm
ate
so
at
sorry.
me, you know,
I'm so
inside and out. But once I got out, it was like, I didn't want to go down that road again. I didn't, you know, want to be getting up every morning looking for, you know, where I was going to get my dope or, you know, it's like the worst thing. Being there for my kids at the time was not, I was present, but not emotionally, you know. I was always high, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, at the end of the day, now I know, and my girls are like, I thank you for being honest and, you know, standing up for me and fighting for us and doing all the things that you have done. And especially for, like, I admitted everything I did in court while they were there, you know, because I wanted them to see, like, if you're gonna do some crazy shit, stupid shit, you know, like, you need to own up to it no matter
Yep.
what. At the end of the
Yep.
day, you know, you always need to own up to your shit, you know, so.
Well, you know what's funny I had a police officer. Uh, he came up to me one time, and he in the town. He was a cop in the town I lived in.
Mhm.
He came up to me and he was like, "Damon Kelly, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah." And he's like, "How do you think I know your name?" And I was like, I don't know, sir." And he was like, "I know your name because I know every single person that you hang out with, and I know everything that they do. But
Yeah.
you know what concerns me?" And I was like, "What's that?" And he goes, "I don't know what you do." And I was like, "Oh shit." And he was like, "I suggest you find some new friends, Mr. Kelly." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Yeesh." And that I got lucky. I got
Right.
really lucky. That cop, he could have been a total fucking asshole because he had me dead to rights. And
Right.
I was some bad shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't, you know, it was a different time back then. I didn't fuck
Right.
around like people fuck around now, but it was different back then.
Yeah.
At least I feel like it was, but that's because
Mhm.
I'm old.
You're not old.
but but it just feels very different. Like
Mhm.
in some ways, like I don't know. It, I'm not saying it was more dangerous. It certainly wasn't. Uh,
Right.
but um, just some dumb shit.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so I was very much like you. I freaking hated cops. Hated them. You know, and I used to fuck with them. You
Yep.
know, I would intentionally get them to chase me. And
Right. Yeah, we
be like,
antagonize them too.
like, dude, you know how many times,
Mhm.
like, I literally, I went to court, right?
Right.
I got caught, I got busted, I went to court, and I straight up lied in court.
Yep.
I perjured the shit out of myself.
Yep.
Do you know why I did it? Because I knew the cop didn't have a fucking case.
Right.
He fucked up, and I
Yep.
knew. And so
He
I
was
looked.
waiting for you to slip up.
So the judge looked at me, and the judge looks at the cop and says, "Wait a minute, you caught this guy, no ID, middle of the town, doing this, and you didn't arrest him?" And the cop was like, "Oh, he said he was gonna double blah." And I knew that once he let me go, that
Right.
I was free and clear because I didn't have any ID on me. And so they called me, and I was like, "I was never there. I don't know where you got my phone number. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
Right.
And there was his word against mine.
Yep.
And the judge looked at the cop and was like, "Are you fucking stupid?" And
Yeah.
then judge looked at me and said, "I hate to say it, but you're free to go." And so, like, I get it. I get it as far as hating cops, man. I used to fuck with them nonstop. But it's funny now, I was a general contractor for about 20 plus years, doing construction, fixing people's houses. I'm an artist. I paint, and construction was just my thing. I'm good with my hands.
Yep.
I like to build things. Anyway, so it was one of those things where, I always hated cops, and now I'm security.
Right.
I do personal security,
That's
and
awesome.
I work with cops on a regular.
Mhm.
And you know what? Most of them aren't bad guys.
Right.
Most of them aren't. Well,
Yep.
yeah, there are dickheads, but there are dickheads everywhere.
Right.
And it's funny because now when I talk to cops, I find that a lot of them had childhoods like me.
Mm-hmm.
They were criminals.
Yep.
They were little punks like I was.
Yep.
And why the fuck do you think I got into this job in the first place, man? That's what they always
Right.
say to me. And it's better to be on this side than the other.
Oh, absolutely. It's different for
And
me now too, talking to them. It's like now I'm
yes,
not afraid, so I'm
yeah,
more open, but it's like weird to me when they're like, "Oh, remember that time I picked you up when you were," and I'm like, "Oh man, yeah, it's a little embarrassing."
shut up,
But
shut up.
like, but it's like just such a different
Yeah,
feeling
why you bringing up some old shit?
right. Like, did you have to put that in my face?
Mhm.
Like, I'm different now, you
Right,
know.
right.
Um,
So, I mean, I just the best thing I can say is you know talk to somebody.
right.
Talk to you get every time you say it, it gets easier. Every time you say it, it makes you feel a little better. At least it does for me. I don't know. Maybe everybody's different. More than likely they
I
are.
feel like it's true. That's why I encourage people because every time I've gotten on and told my story, it's healing for us as individuals, but it also helps others to get courage to stand up and want to speak up,
Agreed.
which can obviously it will help them heal as well,
Right.
I
Right.
think it's a big deal all the way around, and this is a side of catching these predators that needs to be spoken more about,
Right.
which is why we decided it needs to be a weekly thing. It gives
Well,
everybody a safe space,
yeah. I'll tell you. I've been going over this in my head for a week.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if told you I wasn't nervous as hell, and I did not want to put my face on camera.
Hmm.
But at the last minute, I said, "What the fuck? I'm
Right.
like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this.
Right.
This isn't, no half
Yep.
measures here. Why am I hiding?
Yep.
Why am I hiding? And I'm not in the wrong. What am I hiding?
Right.
I'm hiding wrong,
Right.
and that needs to stop. And I would very much like to extend a hand to anybody else who needs to say something. I'm
Thank
there.
you.
I'm there. And so are you guys. And I want to
Absolutely.
thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully, you guys have, my email, my phone number, by all means, anything I can do. anything. I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for camera time. I'm not looking for any of that. I'm looking to step up.
Right. I think that's why we enjoy it so much, because that's what people need to feel more often, you know.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, right. Like a lot of people don't, surprisingly, the amount of people that have hit me up even in the last week and has said, like, you know, they didn't hear my story before, and you know, so I point them to JDQ's channel or Chris LaRoche. I went and told my full story on both the channels. Hey Dickie. And I told some of it on here, you know. But it's like, I do it, yeah, because it makes me feel a sense of calmness after we're done with the stream. But I also know it helps a lot of people to want to come forward, to know that there is someone else in the community that has been through what they've been through. Like, you assume people have been through it, or they know somebody who has, but you don't know for a fact until they've spoken up, you know. And it could be somebody you chat with every day, but you just didn't know what they went through. So it makes it a little bit easier for someone to speak up and be a little bit more honest and open, and knowing that there's people you can talk to. You know, if you don't want to talk to a therapist, like, we're here, you know. None of us are licensed therapists, but we have been there. And we'll absolutely speak to someone, you know.
Right. You're licensed human.
Yes. I'm licensed in experience. That's what I tell people. I'm not a licensed therapist, but I am licensed in experience.
So you know, I wanted to ask you, or at least give you guys the opportunity, is if there's anything, you know, you want to ask me about, you know, anything that, you know, how did you feel, or what, you know, I don't know how you guys. This is, to be honest, the first time I've ever watched your live stream, and I'm on it.
That's awesome, though. Oh, JJ Rod wants to know if he can get your email or some type of contact information for you. So even if you don't want to type it in chat, you can message it to me on Instagram, or and I can get it to JJ, or find him on Instagram. If you're not afraid to put in your Instagram account or something on the chat, I can type it in for you.
Yeah. Hold on. Is the chat?
So for you, there should be a button on, trying to remember how it looks for you guys. I think there's a button on there that says either live chat. Should be like towards, I think it's like
just says private chat.
Yeah, you could put it in there, and then Jules could
you could put it in there, and then
that works.
But what I was gonna ask you is, how old is your son?
My son is 11.
So now, do you plan on telling him like anything that you've been through, you know, to kind of help him, or no? Okay.
No, I'm just gonna keep a very close eye.
Yep.
And you know, he's right, as you know, he's right at that age.
Yep.
Where you know, he's asking me questions, and you know, discovering, oh my God, I like girls are cute, that kind of thing. And you know, sorry, hold on one sec. You know, it's I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words.
You're fine, huh?
Can ask me the question again? I'm sorry.
So I was asking do you plan on telling your son at all? I mean, at any point, about what you went through?
Yeah. Yes. Maybe at some point. But not until way in the future. Like when he's an adult. You know, like, I don't think it's something that you should. There's no reason to be talking about that stuff as in on a personal level with a child.
Right.
He doesn't have that ability to understand.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I wasn't honest with my girls about what I went through until they were 16-ish. But my youngest daughter, she went through a situation at a party, where a guy and a girl, and then their male friend, took advantage of her. They slipped her something in her drink when she went to the bathroom, and then they carried her upstairs and they raped her and put it on Snapchat.
Dear God.
And so, my other daughter happened to see it, unfortunately, and had to watch, her sister being tossed around like a rag doll. And I mean, it was
Jesus.
insane. So I had to open up to them earlier. I didn't plan on even telling them, unless they asked. But I did have to open up, and I felt like at that point, like I should have opened up beforehand to like warn them, don't, never leave your drinks. When you go pee, you either finish your drink or you take that shit with you,
Mhm.
little things like that, to give them the heads up,
You know what's funny is I used to take roofies just for fun.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, like,
Oh, I know, because I
everybody,
definitely, I've been
everybody's all
through.
like, "Oh, it's a date rate." No, I do. I used to love them, and
Yep.
knocked me right the fuck out. I loved it.
Right.
But then again, again is just very self-destructive, very,
Yep.
and I still am.
Yep.
I'm still self-destructive to this
Right.
day. I make stupid decisions all the time. And thank God now, with my son, I've reined it in to the point now that like I carry a picture of my wife and my son
Yep.
in my wallet. And anytime I turn my phone on, it's the first thing I see. It's my wife and son.
That's awesome.
So like I can't, anytime I'm on that phone and thinking doing something stupid, I see them first.
Yep.
And
It's a good reminder.
yeah, and when I'm trying to drive, like because I love to drive. I love loud music and driving fast. I
Mm-hmm.
always have, and you know since my son was born, like I back off.
Right.
Before I didn't care. Like if I crash, oh well.
Right.
It was fun while I was here.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I've spent the better part of my life. It's just like whatever. I'm on borrowed time as it is anyway. So
Right.
what the hell do I care? Why would I be so? I used to laugh at people like, look at them going to work. Yeah, like,
Yep.
but that being said, I always had a job, like that was my thing is I worked like mad, but then Jesus, God help you, after work, I just blasted my brain
Right.
any chance I got, but I was always sober at work.
Right.
I always held down a job without a problem. I would work 50, 60 hours a week. But then, it's construction.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those guys are loaded drunk all day.
Right.
Yep.
That's why I said my friend Roland, he owns his own company now. He's been in recovery for probably 6 or 7 years, shortly after I got clean. But now he owns his own roofing and construction company. And he's like, normally if this would have been me years ago, he's like, I would have been trashed, getting on these roofs, but he's like, it's somewhat weird to be out here and genuinely feeling sober, but also having to deal with the cold weather or but he's like, as soon as I spot an employee who's doing stuff, he's like, I start speaking to them immediately because he's like, I don't want them like that out there. It's my name that people are looking back on, but he's like, I also want them to know, like, I'm a friend. You need help, like, speak to me, I will get you help, like, and he's like, I'm always throwing your name out there because so many recovery specialists and stuff. So he's like, I'll get you in contact with my homegirl Jules, she'll hook you up, just let me.
Really?
Yeah. He's hilarious. But it's like, it is so awesome to see that, like, him owning his own construction company and stuff now. It's like,
Mhm.
just where we were years ago. I mean, I was literally like, my friend used to go to raves on weekends in Connecticut, and he would have me house sit. And he's like, "Oh, I'll bring back whatever, anything so we could try it." So one time he brought back horse tranquilizers because we were doing K at the time. So he brought back horse tranquilizers. He's like, "Oh, is anybody willing to try it?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah.
I'm like 90 pounds wet and wearing boots, but like, I'll try it. I don't give a shit, you know?
Yep.
Um, and that was like the weirdest experience. I told him, I'm like, never again. Like, it wasn't even like being in a K-hole. Like, the trees were coming in at my friend's car. Like, I mean, I saw trolls, trying to attack the back of the car. I'm like, now I'm like, what the hell? I tell my daughters about putting tabs of acid in my eyes because I better think give me better visuals, you know? And it's like, my God, like, I was so destructive and just genuinely didn't give a shit,
Well,
so.
yeah, what's funny is so how I met my wife. I met my wife. She was actually her landlord hired me to redo her bathroom.
Yeah.
And so I went in and never left.
Yeah.
And my wife is from India, and so she grew up in a very well. She was born in India, and then she moved here to America, and she grew up in a pretty rich town, and her parents are very well off, and my wife is highly educated, and she's straight A student. I mean, went to Harvard,
Yeah.
she did everything right.
Yep.
And along comes me,
Yep.
and she's also several years older than me, but don't tell her I said that. and so it's funny because I look older than her, but
Really?
yeah, but she always gets mad when we're like hanging out with her friends and stuff, and I start talking about my past. Not in like a negative, dark way,
Right.
I'm telling some funny story about me getting all fucked up or like chasing, doing stupid shit. And all her friends, like, my wife's always like, don't tell people that. Why? You know who you married.
Right.
She always dated, she told me, she'd always dated these guys who were like doctors and lawyers and, like, really successful guys. And along comes me, I'm a construction worker, and, I get, got arrested, like I was the bad boy, and because I was younger, she always said, "Oh, we're just a fling, we're just a fling." You're too young for me, and I was like, "Good, that's fine. I'm good with just hook up. That sounds great."
Right.
And then 2 years of that, I was like, "So I got this ring for you? Like, what exactly are we doing?"
Yeah.
But like, it's that. Getting into that lifestyle where I'm surrounded by people who are positive, who have careers, who have educations, and I would have loved to go to college,
Right.
but that wasn't in the cards for me.
Yep.
I made every mistake you could possibly make. I made it.
Right.
And it was because I was like, why I don't go to college. For
Right.
For what?
Yeah.
So I can pay money for somebody to tell me I suck? No,
right.
I'll pass.
I felt the same way. Because I quit high school my freshman year after my second sexual assault. Like, I switched schools because of the first one, but then I went to the second school and it happened again, and I actually was going to go to court for it and everything, and the girlfriend of the kid who did it She was happened to be pregnant with his kid. So like they would say stuff to me in the bathroom, in between classes, like, how would you feel if, if someone took away your kid's father, and sent them to jail, the kid never knew the father, whatever, like just drilling these thoughts in my head that I was genuinely feeling guilty that I was about to take this man away from his child, because I wanted my voice heard, and I'm like, it was so messed up that
Yeah.
that's where my thought process was, that I, after I quit school and, time went on, I'm like, I mean, realistically, am I ever going to see any of these people again? Probably not. But I mean, ultimately, I probably, if I would have finished, and told, instead of telling the victim witness advocate that I didn't want to go through with it, and I probably could have saved other females from going through it, because there was three
So,
other people who told me they went through it with the same kid, you know.
you can't take on that kind of.
No. And I mean, now, like, I know, but at the time I didn't. I genuinely believed, I should have did more, whatever. But it's like,
You
I
did what
wanted
you
to
could.
go.
You stayed alive, man.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to go back to school. Like, I went to a couple of like adult education centers when I went to, um, my residential treatment program.
Hmm.
And I was close to graduating, but then I graduated my recovery program and ended up leaving that town. So I knew I wasn't going to get back to the other town to finish schooling. And instead of transferring out, I just stopped going altogether. But I'm like, what am I going to, fight for this for? Because I mean, it's hard for me to learn, paying attention. I have a very short attention span. And so
What?
like,
What'd you
you
say?
know, yeah, like, huh? So it's like even the smaller classrooms just wasn't suitable for me. It was just not enough.
No, no.
But it's like, I'm not gonna
School was not my
waste
thing.
waste the money I don't have to,
Right.
get an education that, like, realistically, what am I gonna do with it? There's so many people that were around me that were going to college and was having a hard time, like,
Right.
finding work, and it's like, so you guys are in debt,
Right. I'm
for
already living on ramen noodles. So
right,
why would I go,
right,
why would I go and lose all my money
right, yep,
and get F's while I'm at it?
yep.
Yay. I just,
Exactly.
not my thing, man. Not my thing. And you know why? I bet if you put me in college today, I'd
Yeah.
fucking kill it. I'd
Oh,
fucking kill
absolutely.
it.
I
But
mean, truthfully, because you have a different mindset
yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, yeah. It's easy. Like the one thing I will say, and I'm not entirely like totally sober.
Yep,
Like I said, I still smoke weed,
yep,
daily. But that's like, it's almost like self-medication, man. Like I can't even imagine not,
right,
like I don't know how I could do that.
right.
I probably should though. I
Yep.
probably should, that would be the final step, I would imagine. That and cigarettes.
Right.
I smoke like a chimney.
Cigarettes are so hard to quit.
The fact that I'm sitting here and I still haven't had one, which, by the way, variety, god damn, man, you're killing me.
No. I had to go. I mean, I vape, but I had to have that cigarette. Yeah.
I hear you. Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Yep.
I just really, really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity and giving all of us the opportunity to at least see somebody pay for this shit.
Right.
The fact that they get arrested for me, oh well. I
Right.
don't, that's great,
Mhm.
but it's the watching them squirm
Right.
is really where it's at. I
Yep.
want them to understand and
Yep.
feel that fear, feel that, oh my God, my life's over.
Right.
You know, because, you know, I mean, okay, you get that when the cops throw the cuffs on you. You get that when you're sitting in the jail cell. Trust me, I know. And it's like, I feel like it's more effective when it's not a cop and
Right.
and you got cameras in your face
Oh
and
yeah.
it's live on the internet. And you're realizing that all your fucking friends are seeing this, and it's going to be on Facebook and
Right.
all these things. Like, there you go. Now you're talking. Now you're gonna, you know, you're gonna start. I mean, granted, the people that you catch, that's great, but I
Right.
feel like what you guys do actually deters more.
Right.
You know, I feel like there are a lot of guys who are probably on the fence or chatting online, and they kind of cross the line a little. Oh, I never meet anybody. It's just role play. And
Right.
yeah, yo, it's just role play. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So yeah, I heard the same thing. I heard the
Yep.
same thing. It was just role play. You know, it's not real. And so I, you know, I feel like hopefully they see one or two of these videos, or they hear other people talking about them, and it makes them really kind of second guess. Like, maybe I am a piece of shit. Maybe I do need to fucking think about who I am and what my goals in life are.
Yep.
Because 90% of this is violence and selfishness. That's
Right.
what it is. Violence and selfishness has nothing to do with sex.
Yep.
It has to do with violence. And it's
Right.
a horrendous thing. And what it does to I mean, not to say it doesn't destroy adults too,
Yep.
but Jesus, kids don't even have a chance.
No.
And they have to live with it forever
Right.
if they survive it.
Yep.
You know, like, people don't understand. I would guarantee you, you know, like, men have the highest suicide rate in the world, right? More men kill themselves than anybody else, right? Gee, I wonder why.
Yep. Exactly.
I bet you anything, a lot of them just because they can't handle what happened to them.
Right.
Because, you know, a lot of times, you know, even with, like, you know, like in my teenage years, 16, 17, 18, 19, so many times where you get into situations where, you know, well, maybe normal people don't get into these situations, but I
Mhm.
did. And you'd be in a situation where a guy wants to claim his dominance over you.
Right.
And it's not a gay thing
No.
at
Nope.
all.
Nope.
And you know, like, it's like that, you know, like, you know, I don't know. I can't, I don't
It's
want to bring it.
an everybody thing. I mean, it's unfortunately, you know, it can get to anybody, no matter what their sexual orientation is, you know, their age, their rate, like, it doesn't matter, you know, unfortunately, you know, it's like, it's almost as if they don't, most of them don't even have a type, you know, like,
Right,
they want to have that power
right,
over someone, you
right.
know. A kid happens to be small enough and you know, impressionable and
Malleable.
easy to
Yeah.
manipulate,
Yep.
you know, so for them it's absolutely about having that power trip, you know, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks, you
Yeah.
know, which
Yeah.
is why we keep saying we do need to start speaking to kids as well, you know.
Right.
Jay and I might be doing a like a thing at one of the schools around here, and you know, just kind of holding, you know, a big meeting with, I mean, parents can be there.
Yep.
I'm going to be talking to the principal because I know the secretary. She said it would be a great idea. But I think it would be smart. I really think it would help a lot of kids, you know.
Agreed. And you know, I was a Cub Scout leader for several years, and it's something that I always talk to the kids about. And I know that at my son's school, my son goes to Catholic school. I know at his school that they've talked about it with him for several years now. So it's obviously the Catholic Church. I mean, I'm not trying to make jokes. Let's be honest, but it's
Yep.
so the Catholic Church and the Archdiocese, thank God, take it very seriously now, and I'm glad about that. They go after people. And,
Right.
hi, Bananas.
Hey, Nat.
What's that, Nat? What's going on?
But yeah, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to take up any more of your
Oh
time.
no, you're fine. You are fine. I told her she was more than welcome to come up. Nat, we can't hear you, honey.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, I had to
you're
turn
good.
the mic on. I just found a random headset at Victoria's house. So, do you see this dog? Hey, buddy. Hey.
What's the dog's name?
His name is Zeke.
Hi, Zeke.
Mm.
I know Nat's always sending me Snapchats of the dogs over there at her friend's
The
house.
husky, she's over there. I wish she'd come over here. She's so pretty.
I
She is.
love huskies.
Here,
Beautiful.
I'll do this real quick. Come here, Jade.
Oh, hey, Jake.
Oh yeah, that's a beauty right
Yeah,
there.
her name is Jade.
Oh, Jade. I'm sorry.
Jade, yeah, I named her. I take pride in naming her.
Right.
It's funny. My best friend, she's had 3 dogs over the time I've known her. Unfortunately, Jax passed away last year, but she's named none of her dogs. Like I've named her dogs. Her ex-boyfriend named Jax, and her current fiance named Zeke. She's
Yeah.
never named any of her dogs.
Yeah,
She's like, I don't have to deal with it.
I have 2 kitties right now.
Yeah.
Me too.
But
I have cats. Yep.
Yeah, I've had so many pets in my life. It's ridiculous. When I was a kid, I was the snake freak. I was the
Oh
kid.
God.
Oh, snake! I see. I like snakes. They're
Mm-mm.
cool. I can deal with pet store snakes, but if I see one out in the wild, hell no. Like I
I'm
call
petrified, like frozen stiff, petrified of snakes.
Julie.
And my friend has
I caught a
one
water
too.
moccasin on the end of my fishing rod in
Oh,
2014, and it was I dropped my fucking fishing rod. I took off running home. My roommate told me to grab the machete. I came back with a machete, and he chopped
my
the
God.
snake in half because it's poisonous. You had to kill it.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
kids in the neighborhood.
My hair used to be down to like here. I had really long hair. And
Yeah.
I had a pet rat.
Stop.
And I used to pick my hair up and I'd put him on my shoulder and I'd leave my hair down. And he'd ride around on my shoulder all day.
Was it a naked rat? That'd be
No.
even cooler.
No, he was white and black. His name was Pogo.
Oh,
And he sat in my I used to wear this army jacket all the time. And so he used to sit in the pocket in the army jacket. And he was a really cool pet, man. Pogo was awesome.
that's dope.
People don't realize that like rats are super, super smart.
Oh, they're super personable. My friends had on naked rats back 10 years ago, and they were super personable.
Yeah.
I used to love taking them out of the cage and having them crawl all over
Yeah, they're
me.
awesome.
My friends are like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "They're cool. They're animals."
They're literally like little dogs, man. They'll play fetch. They come when you call them. They're awesome. But I had 2 ferrets, but I ended up giving somebody else the ferrets because
they smell, but I love ferrets.
smell
My first
so
job was a pet store, so when it comes to ferrets and all those animals, I love them.
right.
Mhm.
Well,
Best first job ever.
I was never too successful with the ladies, and I was finding that the ferrets were making it even worse.
Right.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Well,
I have
they stink, man.
I have a friend. He actually has a whole room in his house. Well, I wouldn't call him a friend anymore, but he's a whole room in his house, and it's dedicated to ferrets. It's like the guest bedroom, but it's full of ferrets.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And
I've
he
always
has a
had
fiance,
pit bulls, but
but
I literally am infatuated with pit bulls. Like ever since I was younger,
I
we've
love
only
pit bulls.
had
They're
pit
beautiful.
bulls, and like we got one now, Taz.
Hold on.
But I at my house I only have a cat. I have Cherokee. My daughter literally named her after her favorite game, Kingdom Hearts. So she's Cherokee. Aw.
Oh, sweet.
This was our Jax. I have his ashes in a bracelet right here.
Hmm.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like my brother, when we had to put Rafiki down,
Oh, that's a cool name. One of my friend's cat's names was Rafiki, like from
yeah,
Lion King, right?
yeah, we did like the Lion King theme. We had like a Nala, a Simba, and Rafiki.
Oh, that's so cool.
And Rafiki, he happened to be, so when my brother bought him, the couple that sold him to him didn't tell him that he was inbred. Like they bred the mom and a baby to have Rafiki. So his mind wasn't right, but
Jax was inbred.
he
Jax
bit
was an inbred
an
dog.
entire chunk of my nephew Anthony's cheek. And so like a whole chunk of his cheek was out. He had to see he had to see a like a plastic surgeon to repair his cheek. But after that, we had to put him down,
That's sad. Yeah.
So he got his ashes in a necklace, and then had my friend Andy does tattoos, and he used a little bit of the ashes to do some of Rafiki's tattoo. He's got
Dude,
his
we
paw
were
print
trying to
and his
look it up.
name.
Julie, did I tell you about that? How like me and Victoria were trying to figure out how to get Jax's ashes in a tattoo, and then we
Mhm.
realized it was really expensive.
Yeah, definitely not cheap.
So then we went with the whole bracelets, and like I bought my bracelet. I think she's getting like some sort of like gold necklace or bracelet, but
Mhm.
like I'm pretty sure her birth mom bought a bunch of these like legend bracelets
Yep.
to put his ashes in.
Yeah,
For
yeah, I
like,
thought it was really cool. I didn't even know that they could do that until my brother had showed me the tattoo, and I'm like, is that Rafiki's actual paw print? He was like, yeah.
well, there's a
He's like,
website.
is there?
Yeah, if you type in like ashes, tattoo
Mhm.
ashes or whatever, a website will come up, and
Yep.
there's it like tells you different tattoo shops that like does it.
Right.
You know what I found, and this is actually in my will. So I found this website that when you die, they take your ashes because I don't want to be buried in the ground. I think that's weird.
Yep.
I'd rather be cremated.
I want to be
Yeah,
cremated too. Fuck
And
yeah.
my daughter
and
Haley's father is cremated. We have his
Or
ashes too.
regrown into like a tree. I've seen
so
that.
so this company, what they do is they take your ashes and they put your ashes inside of a skyrocket,
Oh, really?
and you can shoot the skyrocket up into the air and it explodes, and you get to design what colors you want, and
That's cool.
that is freaking perfect for me.
That's
Right.
so cool.
That
Blow,
is.
I never even
blow
heard
me
of that
the fuck up.
before.
Blow me
No.
the
Link
fuck up.
me.
Yeah, right. Blow me the fuck up.
Drop
My
the
friend-
link.
My
Yeah,
friend Zach would literally be saying the same thing. He lives to blow shit up.
man, like
You know.
I can't think of a better way to kind of like literally go out with a bang. Yes, please.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Please.
It's a random
4th of July
scattering
is
of the
my
ashes.
favorite holiday. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so
Yes.
cool.
I'm pretty sure you know who else who did it. I'm pretty sure that's how Hunter S. Thompson.
Really?
Yeah, I believe Hunter S. Thompson had his ashes blown up in a firework.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell my friend Zach. He's gonna literally die over that. He's gonna tell his wife Kim, "This is what is gonna be done."
It needs to be done.
Yep.
I'm also of the firm mind that if at all possible that I could die off the planet Earth, I would
Right.
do I would do that
Yeah.
in a minute. If I could
Like
go
if
to
you could die in space or something.
the moon or Mars, God willing, you
Yep.
know, like we're very close to getting up there permanent. Like they're gonna
Well,
people need jobs, assuming that World War III doesn't start tomorrow.
yeah, right.
But
Seriously.
you know, like I didn't grow up watching Star Wars and Star Trek and not go to space. No,
Yeah.
I need to go. I need to go. And my son's like so upset. He's like, "Dad, I don't want to go to the moon." I'm like,
Right.
well, you don't have to, but I'm going. I'm
Right.
going. I hope you decide to come with me, but you know,
Damn, Damon, you sound very determined to get to the moon.
I'm
Mhm.
not kidding. I'm going.
He's like not determined that I'm going there.
You're
I'll
going.
try it. Yeah, I'll try it.
What's
Mhm.
funny is I went to college for a minute and I was trying to I went to school, I went to agricultural school, and my thought process was, and believe it or not, even back then, my thought process is whether they're going to need trees on the moon.
Yep.
They're going to need plants. They're going to need farmers. There's
Right.
Yeah.
at no time in human history is there ever going to be a time where trees are outdated.
Right.
You know, like,
Exactly.
you're
That
going to
is
need
that
them.
is very true.
And,
That's why,
and
like, my friend Zach has his own tree company, and that's what he keeps saying too. He's like, I mean, it's one job. You think about it, nobody gonna be able to just really replace us like that. I mean, they could try,
right.
but
Right. So I ended up switching my major because I started to come to the realization that because I was doing arboriculture and
Yeah.
learning, you know, how to plant and design
right,
and care for the trees and do tree work and all that crap. And
right,
I suddenly came to the realization that when I make my
Gee,
plans,
sit over here. Come
I'm
here.
I'm not going to be alive when
right.
my plan comes to
Gee,
fruition
over here. Gee,
Yep.
over
because
here.
trees
Over
stay
here.
alive for so long and it takes so long for them to grow.
Very true.
By the time my planting is at full adulthood, I'll be dead for 20 years.
Right,
And that's when I was like, you know what? I need a little more at instant gratification than that. So
yep.
I switched my major to turf grass management.
That's so cool.
Believe it or not, they actually have a school to learn how to grow grass.
I believe it. I mean, I feel like they have like majors and stuff for all sorts of stuff that like. I mean, you're just like don't think they would have to, but there's a lot more that goes into some of the shit that we just genuinely don't think about, you
Right.
know?
Right. Yeah. Like I worked on a golf course for many years when I was
Mhm.
younger and I freaking loved it.
Yo,
Yeah.
did you fill up your car for free gas at the gas station? Because that's what my friend did.
Hell
When he
yeah.
worked at the golf
Hell
course, he'd go to the golf course and fill up his car for gas. It was so
That's
funny.
hilarious.
That was one of the perks of working at a country club.
Yeah.
Free gas.
Right.
Free gas. You go right there, you turn the key or whatever passcode is and get your gas and you're good to go.
Yep.
Yep.
And the funny thing is I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Caddyshack. But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that movie is
I
real.
actually haven't.
It's actually very
Nah.
realistic.
I
You
know. I
better
like.
go watch it.
I will. I will go watch it. I love
Yeah.
watching movies. You know I
That's a
do. I just
classic.
like. I
It's-
just
it-
you know.
It's very, very funny.
Yeah.
I'll pay for it on Amazon or something, and I'll go watch it after this stream.
Yeah, but no, it was a
Right.
really, really, really great job, and I loved it, and that's why I decided, you know, I want to go to school for this, but I can't. School is not for me. I don't do well at all, you
Right.
know, and especially like, you know, at that time in my life, you know, put me around hundreds of kids that all want to party, and I'm
Yep.
like 4 years older than them.
Right.
Not a good idea, man.
Yeah. Right.
you like it was so funny because I was older than everybody because I didn't go to college out of high school.
Yeah.
And so I showed up and they're like, "Oh, you're a freshman. You have to live on campus in a dorm." And I was like, "What?"
Oh, what was that like, Damon? So what was that like? because I'm like, I know I don't look older, but I'm 33. Like, if I were to ever like consider going back to college, obviously I'd be going as a freshman.
Right.
I'd be like, if I ever decide to go back, I'd probably be like 35 or 36. So what
Right.
was it like going back to college?
Well, when I really liked it. It was very evident that, like, I mean, I wasn't that much older than everybody. I was like 4 years older than all the other freshmen.
Not
Uh,
bad.
but
No, that's not too bad.
no, it's not too bad at all. But you know, at the time it was, like I think back to it now and I'm like, well, it wasn't that big of a deal. But
Right.
like, everybody on my dorm room floor was like, oh, old man, But as far as what it was like going back to school, it was really exciting.
Yeah.
I had every hope in the world. But at the end of the day, school is not for me.
Right.
I highly recommend going back. Uh, don't let your age be a reason for you not to go back, because it's your education, and
Yeah.
you're never too old to learn.
I just don't know what I would want to go for. So
I hear you.
that's like I'm not gonna waste money to not know what I want to do. That's
Right.
like
Right. What do you
stupid in my opinion. So sorry, I keep looking away. I'm still doing like this car hunt on GTA, and I just found
I
I
knew you
just
were gonna
found
say
the
it,
last
man.
car. I just found the last car. But yeah, like right now, I personally can't even afford to go to college. Like I just bought a PS5. That was a fucking headache in itself.
It's a pain in the ass, man. I tried for 3 years or 2 years, whatever, how long it was.
Crazy.
I actually wrote a letter to Sony, thanking them for curing my son of the horrible notion that Santa was real, because my son asked for a PS5 for Christmas and I couldn't provide it.
Right.
All right, so I ordered the digital version. I got it from walmart.com and I used the affirm purchase option, so I was doing payment methods.
Mhm.
But dude, they sent me the disc version. I like regretted buying the digital version, and they sent me the disc version anyway. Super happy about that.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I've been a gamer my whole life. That's what I do.
Oh, I play GTA. I'm more of a solo player though. People like ask to play with me.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't play.
I'll play with like Dead Twist, and that's about it.
I generally don't play any games online. I play all
No.
single player games.
Yeah.
Like I have a bit of a temper. It's probably not a good idea for me to play online.
I just go into solo public lobbies, and like when I play with people online, it's literally like one person. Like I said, Dead Twist. I'm sure you see Dead Twist's name in the stream. He's probably watching right now. Hey, Dead Twist, if you're here. Sorry, I'm ratting you out saying I play PlayStation with you.
Yeah, no, I'll play like multiplayer. Like I'll play like Rocket League. That game's
Oh,
awesome.
I have that. That game's so much fun. I actually
Rocket
didn't
League
like it at first,
It's
and
awesome.
then
It is fun.
I think it was Mary, like
I was
Jay's
gonna say, yeah,
girlfriend.
Jay's
Mary
wife,
told
yeah.
me. I'm pretty sure it was Mary and Jay that told me to like get
Yep.
it. And then I hated it first, and then I liked it. I'm horrible at it. Mary will tell you. She was making fun of me when I'm driving around all recklessly.
Yeah.
I had my boys playing it because I'm like, y'all play it and figure it out, and then I'll get on once I know the idea of what I'm doing.
once you get the controls down, it's super exciting. But yeah, like, and that I'm a big proponent of video games, but on the same token, you would not believe the amount of years I threw into just playing games and not
Yeah.
doing anything for myself. And it's more of that escapism.
I
You
was
know,
just gonna say, yep.
it's, drug abuse in video games works great.
Mhm.
It's just, and I was lucky in the sense that I've always had artwork and I've always been an artist and I've always done things and I love to work with my hands and
Mhm.
I liked working on houses and I've always kind of had that work ethic, like even
Yep.
though even though I get fucked up,
Right.
I still go to work,
Yeah, I always maintained the job too when I was getting high.
right. And it's always helped me in the
Mhm.
sense that like when I'm working, I don't have to think about other things.
Yep.
And so I've always buried myself in whatever it is. And this epiphany that I've had in the last, I'd say year and a half, culminating with this.
Yep.
Uh it's it's a really good thing. It's really like it's lighting a fire under my ass to get my head in order, because I've never had my head in order, you know,
Right.
and I really want that. And if I can help people while doing it, even better, even better,
Absolutely. Yep.
because that's something that I've always done I'm a Boy Scout. I help
Mhm.
people, that's what I've always done. I help people,
Right.
you know,
Yep.
and,
I'm the same way.
and
Yo,
I
you were
just,
saying, speaking of artwork, this was 1 year ago. Fucking stupid thing. Hold on. All right, let me see. Yeah, that way. All right, there. Can you guys see it? This
No.
was, of course, you guys can't. It was a Volcom stone drawing. I'm trying to get it to the computer to angle right,
I
but
was
of
gonna
course,
say,
you guys
turn your
can't
phone
see
a
it.
little bit towards you.
You can see it somewhat,
Yeah, it's like an
yeah.
outline.
I was
Anyway,
gonna
it's the
say,
thing
yeah.
that's on my shirt. That was a year ago, and that was when I was in a rehab last year. That was I started my artwork, and now I have that painting in my wall at my house.
Yep.
mm,
That's what's up.
Nice.
I can barely draw stick figures. My brother is the
Me
artist.
too. Yeah, I suck
well,
too.
Mhm.
I always tell people, whenever anybody says that they can't draw, the only
Mhm.
reason I can draw well is because I practice.
Right. Well, that's what I tell my son too.
Anybody can draw. If a caveman can make a painting on the wall, you can certainly draw. So
Right.
it's the only reason my drawing looks better than yours is because I do it every day.
Right.
And one of the things that I learned with doing artwork, in particularly drawing, because that's always been kind of my medium, as it were.
Mhm.
I did charcoal. I was one of those idiots that sat on the sidewalk and did portraits of people.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I my medium was charcoal, and I really enjoy doing charcoal. And so the thing I learned was, you're right over there, Nat.
Yeah, I'm getting a vehicle, and that's the last time you're gonna hear my controller talk because
No,
I'm done the car hunt, and I'm gonna park up, and then I'm done. I'm gonna pay attention. I kind of want to like tell it, and then I want to tell you guys about my nasty dad.
That
Yeah.
okay.
But I
That-
got to be in full focus for that. I'm done the car hunt. I got the last car, and I'm going to park up right now.
What
She's on
car?
a mission. She's on a mission. Yeah.
She is. It's like good luck getting that full attention when she's when she's ready.
I'm going to park up right now.
That's too funny. I could hear her talking, and I'm like, what's she doing hiding behind her back?
Her control looked like she was.
Yeah, I
itching
was
for
trying to
that.
press it against my back so you guys couldn't hear the controller like
Oh.
talk loud. That's
I
why
thought
I
you were
did
trying
that.
to itch your back with it or something.
Oh, no. Like the controller was loud, so I was trying to like make it like not loud.
It was funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah. My brother actually drew a couple of pieces for my friend owns his own tattoo shop, and so my brother will draw some of the pieces for him, so that way he can stencil them. But it's cool because he's like, it's nice having people come up to me and say, hey, can you draw this piece for me so I could take it to Andy's shop and have him tattoo it on me?
Yo, Hannah Pearl, get your last name off. Change your YouTube name, Hannah Pearl. That's not safe. Stop it, Hannah. Hannah's friends.
Oh, I'm like, maybe it's their middle name, but I guess you know.
No, Hannah, change your YouTube name, please. I changed my YouTube name.
See, I
just leave it as Hannah.
Hannah, I fucking love you. Hannah was actually the person that made me realize that I liked females. And this was like in 2010. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
It's so funny. Her name's like right there.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Hannah.
Yeah,
Hannah, meet my pred catching community or whatever.
And I'm her crazy psycho friend from Massachusetts.
Yeah, Hannah, I stayed at Julie's house up in the summer.
Yeah, I don't think you can live in Massachusetts without being crazy.
No, sure can't.
I don't think you can live in New Jersey without being crazy either.
Yeah. It's like a requirement. I always tell people, I'm like, you literally just have to be able to come out your neck at any given moment.
Right. People are always giving me a hard time because my YouTube name is my real name, and they're like, "Are you nuts?"
Yeah, I had mine.
Wait, nuts used to be my nickname. Hannah, tell them.
I thought so because when I saw
Nat
her
is nuts.
say,
Nat is
nuts.
Nat is nuts. Nuts used to be my nickname, and I had to change it after somebody tried to tell me I was racist, and everyone painted me as a racist person, and it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Hannah will tell you. Hannah will tell you. Look, nuts. Hannah, it's 3 Z's, bitch.
I was the head of security.
Or Hannah will call me just nut.
I was head of security for
all right,
Amazon.
let me plug in this controller.
And in 1 year, I had 2 people level the charge of me being a racist. And it's
really?
It sucks, man. I'm like, and the only reason I didn't get in trouble is because I had about 15 of my guards, all black, stand up.
Right.
Yep, Hannah, I remember when I stole your car on ecstasy. Yes, I did.
I had to stand up for Alex too because
they're all saying, right. They're all saying that, they all went to HR and they were like, man, this is like one of the least racist guys I've ever met.
Right.
I actually, it's funny. One of the guards came to me one time and she was like, I can't believe that you're friends with him. And I was like, why? And she's like, no, you don't understand. He hates white people. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, no, dude, he doesn't. He hates white people. I can't believe he talks to you. And I'm like, wow, that really sucks, man, because I like that guy.
Right.
That's really fucking racist.
Yeah.
And so I went to him and I was like, man, what's up? I was like, you don't like white people, huh? And he's like, you didn't have shit to say.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I can be, that sucks, but it's not like I haven't had racist friends before.
Right.
I have,
right.
I think we all have.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have too.
But I said to him, I was like, man, I hope that at some level, you think about the fact that at least you're cool with me. I get it. I do, my wife, me growing up in my life, I had an idea of what racism was.
Right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna refill my water. Okay, I'll be right back.
Fine.
And I had an idea of what racism was. And then I married a brown girl.
Yep.
And I found out what real racism was.
Oh yeah.
And
I used to get so much crap talked about me in school because I'm half black and half white. So, they'd call me an Oreo or whatever. And it never, I never thought about it, while I was in school, it didn't really get to me like that because we have so many, different races in my family, like Spanish and black and what, I'm
about as white as you could possibly be. I'm Irish.
My daughter is I mean, obviously I'm mulatto. Her dad is Irish,
Yep, that's me.
and she is literally like Casper White. I mean, people are like, they genuinely cannot believe her when she's like, that's my mom, and they're like, bullshit. I'm
Right.
like, yep, she's mine.
Right.
Looks like
Yep,
the color just faded down the line or something somewhere,
right.
but
Well, my son, yeah, I mean, obviously my wife is dark skinned.
yep,
So my son is like coffee color. You
yep,
know, he's
yep,
like mocha. You know, and
yep,
everybody was when he was a baby, everyone's like, "Oh, is he Japanese?" You know,
right,
well, he is Asian, but he's Indian,
yep.
half Indian anyway. Um,
Mm.
yeah, but you know, it's really weird, you know. Like all of a sudden, I get married to a brown girl, and all of a sudden, you know, like people are treating me like shit because I'm married to somebody who isn't white.
Right.
I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yep.
I've
My
known you, I was like, "I've known you my whole life." Like,
right.
I had no idea you felt like that. Like,
Yep.
you're a piece of shit. I don't want to ever talk to you again.
Yep.
You know,
My
I have no patience for people who are like that.
right.
I
My
can't.
mom said when she hooked up with my dad because he's black, like she's like, I was 14, so back then it was, you know, just starting to be tolerated. My nana literally chased my dad down the street when she found out my mom was pregnant at 14. So my
Wow.
nana chased my dad down the street with a shoe and a stick in each hand and was like, I will kill you.
Wait, what? A shoe and a stick?
Yeah. I'm like, I said, Nana, I said, how dumb do you feel though now? Like most of the grandkids you have are literally half black. Like all of your children decided to have mixed racial relationships. I was like, though, now you're getting it back. And she says, you know, she's like, she was from South Carolina. So she was, you know, really like Southern and but she's like, well, she's like, I love it now, you know, with her little country accent. She used to
Right.
crack me up.
Well,
She'd
so
say,
you know what's funny is in my experience, and I've done a ton of traveling. I've been many countries, and I've been a bunch of places here in the United States. And
I've been to countries, but I've been to places in the United States. I love traveling.
I've,
Now,
I've
COVID fucked up my traveling.
yes, it sure did.
mhm.
But
I shouldn't go back to
I
Cali.
found that Massachusetts is one of the most racist states I've ever been in.
Yeah, it really is.
And you know, people are always like, "Oh, fucking the South." Dude, when I went to the South, that wasn't that bad. I mean,
When I went to
one thing,
Tennessee, people tried to warn me and say how racist they were there, but like they were the most like sweet.
yeah,
Like I mean, I was like, whoa,
right.
these people
And,
are so respectful and you know, yes ma'am, no ma'am. I
right.
mean,
The thing is racism down south. I have at least the respect that they'll tell you dead to your face.
right.
They're not scared, and
Yep.
they're very fucking honest about it.
Right.
And
Open. Yep.
I think you're a fucking piece of shit if you think like that. But at least you got
Yep.
the balls to tell me.
Right.
Up here in Massachusetts,
Yep.
yeah, pieces of shit. I can't
All
stand.
right.
Like I had my own, like, you know, I did construction for like very rich people,
Yep.
and and you know, one of my guys was from Nigeria,
Yep.
and this woman comes up to me and says, you know, he can work outside, but I don't want him in the house. And I was like, excuse me?
Like what the hell?
She was like, well, I just don't feel comfortable. He can work outside. And I was like, ma'am, everybody who works for my company is Corey checked. You know?
Right.
And she was like, well, I just don't feel comfortable. And you know, this is in like the most liberal part of Massachusetts. And I'm like, you guys fucking suck. Like
Right.
I hate people like that. And I run into them in Massachusetts all the time.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know, because they
Yep.
think I'm like a blue collar white guy. I can say whatever the fuck. You know,
Right.
they you know, like, oh, he's a Trump supporter. He must be racist.
Yep.
Fuck you, I'm
Right.
racist.
Yep.
And I hate that shit.
Yeah,
You
my neighbor, I call her Sissy, and I mean she's white and she's looking into Trump, but she's not racist. Like
No,
far from it, you know.
far from it.
And I
Far
just
from it. And as far as my political leanings, I don't tell anybody what the fuck my political leanings are.
right. I'm like, I just usually am quiet about it because I'm like, it always ends up in an argument for no reason, and I don't do politics, so I don't care like enough to be that person. So I'm just like, I
Oh
mean, you
boy.
support who you support, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
either way, like if I like you as a person, you know, then
I vote
fine. But the rest of it's background noise.
right.
You know?
I vote for who I think would be a good leader, period. I don't care what party they're in.
Right.
But anyway,
But yeah, so Nat, if you want, just letting you guys know because I gotta go out to get the kids off the bus, but you're more than welcome to talk because I'll be standing out there for a minute waiting for the bus
Yeah,
anyway.
I kind of want to like tell a little bit like about
Yeah.
like my dad.
Yep. Like I
Alright.
said,
This
whatever you're comfortable with, honey.
I want to thank
This
you again. But
You're so
sorry,
welcome. Yeah.
Nat, go ahead.
all right, yeah. Anyway, like growing up, my mom worked pretty much like 9. She worked daytime, but
Mhm.
like on weekends, I was home with my dad. He was a police officer too, so he worked 7 a.m. Or no, his shift varies. It was 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. It went on and off depending on like what week. My dad, he was great. Like he'd be nice. He'd take me to the diner at 5 a.m. on those shifts where he did end his shift at 7 a.m. But my dad was just really nasty and awful.
Sorry.
Like when he was not in that police uniform, he was angry. He sat upstairs in the back room or the spare bedroom, the office. We'll call it the office, computer room, all day, just looking at porn. And then he would used to make me and my friends stand in the fucking basement naked. And he would make sure the front door was shut because we had like, you know how there's certain double doors, there's a storm door and then like a main door.
Yep.
So like always during the day, that big front door had to be shut. Always had to be shut because my dad would just like have naked minors in the house. And he didn't touch us, but he just like made us stand in the basement naked and play naked in the basement. It was disgusting. And then meanwhile, while he was upstairs looking at porn, but he would come down to make sure that we were still naked.
What the hell?
What the fuck?
And it was just so freaking twisted. And that front door would always be shut. And on top of it, in the wintertime, like heat's normally between like 69 or 71 in the house. No, this motherfucker cranked that shit up to like between 80 and 88 degrees. In certain rooms, it would get at 88 degrees. But in the basement, like the furnace is right down there. I don't know. It would be hot.
Did you ever think that maybe there was a camera down there?
Absolutely not, because the I'm pretty Julie. I've shown you the videos of my dirty ass basement. It was
Yeah, I
always
think so.
flooded and stuff down there. There's no possible way for electricity to work down there when he was
Oh,
alive because he was
okay.
a hoarder.
Good.
So literally it was just a mound. Like not only were we naked in the basement, it was just mounds of just stuff, literal stuff. And when it rained, it flooded because he refused to get a sump pump. When he died in 2019, we got a sump pump and the basement is perfect and everything's great now. And that house is finally not being a hoarder house anymore. It's in the process of it. But anyway, yeah, my dad was horrible. And I don't like shut doors like at my house. Like if it's daytime at my house, the door has to be open. because he used to shut the door in the daytime to scare us kids, to make us go back down into the basement. And then he'd put the heat all the way up and make us stay in the basement and then stay upstairs and watch porn.
I can't be tickled.
Are you reading
That's
a comment?
crazy.
What's that?
You said I can't be tickled. I asked if you
Yeah.
were reading a comment.
No. I was just commenting. Like you can't deal with closed doors.
Oh, you can't be tickled. Yeah, I don't like being tickled either. And actually, there's nothing to do with it's got nothing to do with anything weird. I just don't like tickling. I've always thought tickling's weird. Like, why do you want to like wiggle and do all that?
Right.
I'm just not ticklish.
You're laughing and it isn't fucking funny. Like
Yeah, it's just weird. It's very uncomfortable. It's straight up
Yeah.
cringe.
Yeah.
Tickling is definitely a cringy
I'm not
activity.
even like ticklish at all.
I am, and I get very, very
Buddha,
angry.
it might be like if Variety's got his laptop on and the phone, he might be able to. I can't hear an echo on my end.
I heard an
What's that?
echo on my end.
You did?
Yeah, it's not.
I mean,
it's
I'm
not me.
outside
Yeah.
too. So, okay. Well, I'll keep
Oh,
my
that-
mic
yeah,
muted just in case.
It probably is Jules, because last stream we did, and she went out to get the boys at the bus. It echoed, so I think it might be Jules.
Wait,
Yeah.
Julie,
Okay,
did you
I'm
take your
muting.
headphones out?
Yeah, it's on just my actual phone.
Then that's why. Because
No,
Because-
it's been off the entire time.
so you've never had headphones on,
Nope.
and it's just playing out of your phone.
through my stream. Yeah, it could be because I got off the Wi-Fi itself. I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably.
So,
Yeah.
but I'll mute it.
Oh wait, no love said cute husky. Thank you. It's not my dog. It's my best friend's dog. It's like my husky niece.
Yeah. They're still family. Dogs, the cats. I love animals.
Nans,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yo, Nans, what do you mean by they want it to be that way? That's all for division. Nans is Hannah, by the way, guys.
All right. I'm looking at the comments now.
Yo, Nans, why didn't you type in how bad my dad was? She'll tell you. I don't think she ever met him. She wasn't allowed. I wasn't really allowed to have friends over. I wasn't allowed to go to senior prom because my dad said that people would have raped me. So what I did was I did go to senior prom. I slept over at my friend's house for 3 days in a row, and I just told my mom took care of it. Oh, look, Hannah's typing right now. He was a piece of shit. We celebrated his death. Yes, we did. We did celebrate my dad's death. The only thing positive out of it is that me and my mom got an American flag because my dad served the country. And like that's the only good thing he did was serve the country.
Same with mine. My dad was in Vietnam. Yeah.
That's actually gets tied back to me being a racist because when George Floyd's family got the flag, I made a post about it. And all I said was criminals don't deserve to have the same flag that police families get to have. And it turned into a big thing, and a lot of people in my town hate me.
That's all right. You got to be yourself,
I am myself. I'm real.
Yeah.
I tell the fucking truth, and people don't fucking like it. So, oh well. And then I
That's
got
how
this
it is with
other
me.
idiot friend. I hope she's in this stream watching. Yo, friend, if you're in this stream, fuck you. You're retarded. You're 31 and you want to TikTok all the time. You look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. That's why
You
people hate
TikTok
me.
for $15. Like, you're an idiot.
Yep. People don't like real. It's well, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear.
I actually told the girl what she needed to hear the other night.
Yeah.
I did. I got drunk. Yes, I did go to rehab, And yes, I can still drink. And yes, I don't wake up with shakes. Or no, I don't wake up with shakes. I can actually enjoy drinks now and I can enjoy my next day. I don't need to rely on it. It's fucking wonderful. But
Mhm.
yeah, I drank a pint of Tito's the other night and I told somebody how I felt. This stupid idiot couldn't even watch my videos because she couldn't even hear the truth. Like what?
Yep.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
a straight up realist.
Absolutely.
She actually texted me on my other phone. It was like, "Do you remember being mean to me?" Yeah, absolutely. And she
Mhm.
goes, "Why do you say it like that?" Because I was telling you the truth, you idiot.
Yep.
Like, how fucking dumb do you have to be? And stop sending me TikToks, especially when you can tell that both of your hair is different. You have your short hair and then you have your extensions. You try to be like the Kardashians, and you aren't the Kardashians.
Yeah. I only send TikToks or IG reels that are like one of the funny ones, not stupid shit, you know?
Adult human female. Here's a heart. Love you.
You know, too much
Oh
negative
shit,
in the world.
Hannah just reminded me. Yo.
Mm.
See, Julie, you're right about the clumps of missing stuff. So when I was younger, I actually had a husky, not this husky, but I had a husky growing up. My dad literally put me and the dog in the master bedroom and sprayed a bunch of pepper spray in there and
Mhm.
locked the fucking door.
Oh boy.
And I think I was 8 or 9 years old at the time, maybe 7. I don't want to say as young as 7, but somewhere in that like age range. Thank you, Hannah, for reminding me about that.
I tell you,
And then also I witnessed my mom put a gun to her head because she couldn't take my dad's shit anymore.
Mhm.
And she was on her knees on her bed with a gun to her head.
I'm sorry you had to see that.
I was very, very young when I saw that one. Let me see what else Hannah is saying.
Sorry.
It's all right,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
Did she make it?
My mom is still alive. She actually had a liver transplant right before COVID in October of 2019. My mom had a liver transplant. She had 24 hours to live. If they didn't find a liver, she would die, and they
Yeah.
found a liver.
Wow.
Thank God. Thank God. If I that's the other thing. If you can find it in your heart to be an organ donor, please do so.
I
Because
think, or
it saved
yeah,
my
I think it says it on my ID. Oh, I don't have my wallet with me today, but I'm pretty sure I'm an organ donor. I'm not sure though.
it saved my wife's life. My
Yeah, I
wife.
gotta look. Let me see.
Dude, my mom almost fucking died. It was the scariest time of my life. So
Yep.
my dad died in April of 2019, and that was the best day of my life. And then, like in October of 2019, my mom got really sick because she was my dad was a hoarder. So my mom was just used to like eating old food or just gross stuff, and she got sick from it, and it turned into hep A or hep C. I don't know. I was a full blown alcoholic at the time this was going on. So, um, my mom had the liver transplant and made it.
Good. Yeah.
What else?
My
Politics.
my wife
Oh,
lost
yeah.
both her kidneys, and I had to quit my job, and I got trained as a dialysis tech, and I had a dialysis machine installed in my house, and I took care of my wife for 2 years, and thankfully she got a kidney transplant, and she doesn't have to go through that shit anymore, at least for now.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, that's
God.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do organ donor. I have a organ donor thing on my thing. ID too.
Mine
I was
doesn't say it. I gotta switch that. I need to switch that up because I'll
My
definitely donate
ID's
an organ.
expired.
Well, it was
My
funny. So I was always against being an organ donor, and I always said, "No fucking way, nobody can have my organs." Not to mention, why would you want them? They're fucking poison. But it changed. After seeing my wife almost die, I mean, it was horrible. I had to take all of the blood out of my wife's body every day and put it all back in again. And it was fucking brutal, man. It was awful. And so, please, if you could find it in your heart to donate your organs, please do so. It changed. It gave my son his mother. My wife wasn't going to make it. You can't.
Oh shit! Yep.
What's up?
What Hannah wrote.
No, didn't cut her hair, Hannah. No, I remember my dad. He also took my mom. Said something. I don't know. My dad was angry. I walked out of my room. The top of my step. It's like 6 steps. I walked out of my room. My dad frisbee threw a plate of spaghetti at my mom, and that was terrifying to see. And that same night, me and my mom left the house, and when we came back, he put all the garbage cans in front of the driveway. And as we were pulling up to the house to come home, he was throwing the dog food cans at like wet food cans at the car. Another time, one of the more recent times, and than the last time my dad abused me. This one was more mental. He physically harmed himself by giving himself rug burn. He said that I pushed him, and he called the police on me. He had my mom tell me that I was at my friend's house. I'm gonna refer to her as the R word, retard, because I don't want to say her name on stream. She's not in the stream, so Hannah knows who I'm talking about. Anyway, my mom said I was at retard's house, and the police showed up, and I got taken in, and my dad pressed false charges against me and said I pushed him and gave him rug burn. Like, I weigh 100 pounds. That motherfucker weighed like 250 pounds and was like, I don't know, much bigger than me. Anyway,
how old were you when that happened? How old were you?
It was 2017, so it was 5 years ago. So it was one of the most recent things he did. Yeah. Anyway, while I was sitting in the police station, the cops were treating me very well. Mm-hmm. One of the cops was actually one of the arresting officers, I think, in one of Jay's recent catches. Anyway, they played 90s Pandora for me the whole time in the police station. And while I was waiting there, my dad called the police station drunk as shit, saying, yo, keep my daughter there. She needs to stay there. She needs to be locked up for life. And I was getting released at that time because they had no reason to hold me. And he was pissed. He told the police he wanted to kill them all. Mm-hmm. And they did nothing. My dad has never suffered really any consequences from the police station except for when he got his gun taken away when I was around 11 or 12 years old. And that's because I lost a quarter in the gum machine at like a grocery store. And because of that, he ripped the entire machine off the wall, like the metal pipes and stuff, and smashed it. So all the gum balls and all the toys and everything went everywhere. And he got his gun taken away for 6 months for that. He wasn't allowed to bring it home. I'm so happy he's dead.
Mm-hmm. How old was he when he passed, Nat?
He died April 13th in 2019. And on that same exact day, I got really, really bad knee pain. And then within like 2 days, I needed orthoscopic knee surgery. Right. And I made it to his funeral within actually, I was late to his funeral because I was getting out of surgery. I had to check out of the hospital early just because I didn't want to be that person to miss my dad's funeral. So Me and Victoria weren't even friends at the time. That's my best friend now. She picked me up and we went to my dad's funeral. And I was late to the funeral. I walked in there on crutches and I really didn't care. I kind of gave people the middle finger, to be honest.
Yeah.
And nobody was really
I'm
there.
surprised you went to the funeral.
I didn't want to be that daughter to not go to their dad's funeral, even though when they unplugged him or when they were preparing to unplug him, I walked out of the room saying "fuck you."
Mm-hmm.
Because he fucked me up. Like, I don't like to have sex. I consider myself asexual. I don't find people sexually attractive, and I blame it fully on him for making me just stand in the basement with my friends naked. Like I don't like being naked. I hate it. I think it's gross, and that's not normal for like most people.
Yeah. Damon, Jules says if you got to do something that we're going to be ending soon anyway, so don't let the stream hold you up. But we appreciate you coming on today, man.
Yeah,
I
no
stayed
worries.
quiet through most of it because it felt more like you vibed with Jules better, so that's why I pretty much stayed silent for most of it. But thank you for coming on for
No,
sure.
no
And,
problem. And I
you know,
didn't want to. I didn't want to step on Nat as far because she was talking. I actually do have to go pick up my son. But again, I just you have
You could have cut me off.
no. I would have if I absolutely needed to. But I just I have so much respect for you guys and what you do, and just know that you probably have you have a very strong ally in me, and anything I can do, anything you need a ride, you need
We appreciate you so much, Damon.
yeah. If literally, if you need somebody to talk to, you need a ride, you need whatever you need, let me know. Let me know. I'm right here. I'm right here. And
I appreciate that. I saved your number, so
anything I can do as far as furthering this channel or any other channel, please let me know. I'm not looking for anything in return. I just want to help.
that's great. That's awesome. Thank you, Damon, for
No problem. And again,
coming on.
I do have to go, but I can't be more thankful. And
well, hopefully we'll see you next week, Damon.
Yeah, we'll be
See you
here.
later, Damon.
Absolutely.
It was nice to meet you.
Take
Yep.
care.
Take care, Damon. Have a good
you
day.
so much.
All
You're
right.
welcome. Thank you.
Then there was 3.
Yeah, it was definitely amazing.
Yep.
Hi, Jade.
That's what we needed, to help other people get more comfortable, speaking their testimony. So that was great.
I think that definitely helped a lot of people, hearing him speaking up and coming from a guy,
Now I got Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, Zeke. I definitely think it was needed because, like I said, there's been like 3 or 4 guys that have hit me up in the past week, just saying how grateful they are and like how it seems like guys are supposed to be the tougher, not supposed to speak up type. It's like no, like
Yeah, it was cool to have. It was cool to have him come on.
Absolutely. And I think it does. It opens up doors for other guys to see that, there are other men that go through it and, more than willing to speak up and, but it'll be good for him too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And thank you to Nat for joining us as well today.
Yeah, I was glad to make it. Like, thankfully, I wasn't napping. I just got this PS5, so who naps when they get a brand new PS5?
Yeah, Nat's gonna be up for the next month on.
Yeah.
Julie, guess what, Julie? March 15th, GTA Expanded at Enhanced comes out, I'll never have to worry about that bitch in Florida asking me to play GTA again. Actually, never mind. I just lied because I deleted her off PlayStation Network 2 nights
there you
ago.
go. That's good.
Bye-bye, bitch.
I've been telling her for a while. She just needs to just delete her. Just
I deleted her and I told her about herself.
good.
Julie, I'm gonna
needed
send
to.
you. No, Julie, can I send you the videos on Snapchat
Yeah.
of how I told her about herself?
Yeah.
She told me she didn't watch the videos, but it sounds like she did by the way she was texting me.
Oh, I'm sure she probably did.
She
So
told me
Buddha,
I looked
Nat said
doped
that
out.
she did Walmart. She used the Affirm way of paying, so she can make payments on the PS5.
Yeah, but you have to get approved.
Right.
I didn't know that. I didn't know until the next day. The next day I got a text saying that you got approved. Oh,
Yep.
Buddha, I paid $7.30, but when I chose the Affirm method, it was a little bit more because you have to make interest.
Right. Bye, Big Ronnie. Thank you.
Yo, Hannah, what are you doing later this week? You want to come over and hang out again?
So maybe
Mans, I'm talking to you.
Maybe next week we'll start like a half hour earlier, if we want to or need to. That way other people can get on if they want or whatever, and then we
Yeah.
won't run into my interference out here.
Yeah. And I also want to show that
You
video
know.
that we were sent. You know that video. You got it as well.
Yep.
So I guess next week, I'll play that video on my laptop. We'll screen share it.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, we should do that. Like, let people know ahead of time. Like, see how people feel about doing it a half hour earlier. That way we can play the video. And I have like a couple of things about.
I also have a tip. Look at what other catchers have premieres and kind of base it around that, because Shafiq had a premiere right before you came in.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, we usually every week we keep it at 1 o'clock, but I mean, because usually they don't set up the premieres until either the night before or whatever. So.
Oh yeah, Hannah's right. I don't even want to be touched.
Oh, I know. I was surprised she was letting my boys when she was over here, because I knew about that.
Oh, they're kids. Kids are fine. Kids want to play. I don't mind playing with kids, but I don't mind hugs. But when it comes to like other things sexually, I don't want to be touched. Like I'll kiss somebody. That's about it.
Yep.
But if they want to start touching me, get socked in the fucking face.
Right.
Uh-oh. Stay away from that.
Right.
I don't want to get socked in the face, that's for sure.
Yep. Yep.
You know? Shit. I don't want the smoke, Nat. No smoke for me.
Yeah, right? Like, don't bring the heat.
You know?
I always bring the heat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nat's like, I got the mouth and Julie got the hands. We good.
Oh yeah.
Julie, you tell me when. I'll hop on a bus and come up and see you. Like,
yeah,
I haven't seen your
I just been
boys.
waiting for stuff to settle down here, because now Chris's grandmother is she's got like a couple weeks left to live.
You always have family. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Chris is alive. I gotta
like
check
one
that.
thing after another. But so I'm kind of like waiting on that, to spending whatever time we can over at his mom's house with her and stuff, so.
And yeah, Guns is right. StockX is legit. Wait, this might be my friend, Gunslinger, probably. Actually, that is Gunslinger. Yeah. He just got a PlayStation 5 off StockX, so it's legit.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Hannah, he definitely was awesome for sure.
Absolutely. Let me check on this Alex catch, and it's probably still going on.
Look at Hannah looking like a little thought in her nice picture.
Hmm.
She's
Yeah.
like, I'm cute, leave me alone, Jesus.
Hmm.
Yo, Hannah, I was telling them about my pizzeria boss. We could get into a whole story about a pizzeria boss. Hannah, want to come on next week and talk about Mario? Hannah, come on next week and talk about Mario.
That'd be hilarious.
Nah, Hannah needs to come on. If Hannah comes on next week, we could both talk about our ex pizzeria boss because we both dealt with him.
Right. I know, I was gonna say the same thing too, Guns, and now I'm like wanting pizza.
Yeah, Guns. On the way home from here, I'm gonna stop and get that pizza.
Nuts and ass, because her or Jay usually be talking about food to me, and I'm like, you guys just make me want to eat whatever it is y'all talking about. But yeah, Nat. So find out if Hannah wants to or whatever next week, and just let us know, and that way we can, get everything situated for it, because that would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
The bus will
Maybe
be
I
here
can make it.
anytime
Maybe
now
I can
anyway,
make
so it'll
it
get
so where
super
like
loud.
me and Hannah could be like together, like hanging out
Yep.
together or whatever, and we could talk about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that'll be cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let us know. Let us know for sure. I'm gonna get off here so that way the bus isn't being too loud, and then the kids yelling in the background ain't too loud for everybody too. But thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming on, Nat, and
All
everybody.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Everyone have a good day. All right.
All right, Nat. We'll see you later. Be
All
safe.
right. Peace
Thank
out.
you.
Everyone
All
be
right.
safe. Bye.
Yep.
I'll text you in a little bit, Variety.
All right. No doubt. Everybody appreciate you coming in. The 103 likes that we got on the stream. That's awesome. And we will see you next time. See you
Absolutely.
later, everybody. Peace.
Namaste, Buddha.